Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2022, the Christmas album, Sexy Santa, Shimmy Shimmy, Dad, AF. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. Beast! Alright, let's get into today's video. How are you guys doing? Alright. Hi, I'm Peter Monn, reporter for Drama News Network. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive investigation into the relatable world of Jaclyn Kardashian, Jaclyn Hill. We will be discussing the complaints, the relatability, and the Chanels. All of the things that make up Jaclyn Kardashian Hill. But first, I need a little lip gloss. And welcome to Drama News Network, where our news is as glittery and as glamorous as our lip gloss. When your lips are dry as mine. Where's my lip gloss go? Oh, it's butt crack. When your lips are dry as mine, then it's Luna Beauty time. So, I started getting all of these DMs from people. It's like milking a cow, like I always say, or something else. I started getting all these DMs from people, right? And they were like, are you going to talk about how Jaclyn Hill has been really, really negative lately, right? And I was like, you mean like in the last 2 to 5 years? Because Jaclyn has been... Oh, you know what? Before I even get into this video, I forgot something I wanted to say. The most amazing news out there that has happened. I can't believe I forgot to say this. Congratulations to Jenna and Julian for their nuptials. So Jenna Marbles and her fiance Julian got married. Julian posted the pictures over on Instagram. Here, I'll probably throw up a picture here somewhere. And I think he posted a picture or posted a video on YouTube. And the internet went crazy. They're like, oh my God, Jenna Marbles and Julian are finally married. And they were so happy. And so everybody's happy. And everybody's saying like this is the Christmas present that we all needed this year as we go into 2023. So congratulations to Jenna Marbles and Julian on getting married. It's fantastic. And the pictures are so cool too. It's just like, and they had their little dog in the pictures and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, all right, so let's get into this video talking about Jaclyn Kardashian Hill. So I started getting all of these DMs from people, right? And they were saying, this is like, I'm getting like right into the drama. I don't even want to hear about it today, okay? It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So I started getting all these DMs from people, and they were like, are you going to address how negative and complaining that Jaclyn has been recently? And I was like, you mean like the last 2 to 5 years? Because like, she's been complaining for a while, you know? And it's interesting because Jaclyn used to complain a lot on Twitter, and I actually went to her Twitter just to kind of see like if she's been complaining over there, and she hasn't. She doesn't really post a lot on Twitter anymore. And I think this is the thing, is I think that like Jaclyn would go to Twitter and she would say, everybody's so mean to me, everybody's bullying me, right? And then she would get some comments on there that were like, oh, Jaclyn, I love you so much. You're the kindest, most compassionate person in the entire world. But because it's Twitter, and, you know, unless she blocked people, she couldn't delete the tweets or the responses. She would also get responses from people that would be like, quit complaining, you're not being bullied, people are just giving you constructive criticism, people want answers for your pissy poor products that you've put out, people want answers about the lipsticks, people want answers about the necklaces and the jewelry line, people want answers about the Cozy brand. You know, they would say all this kind of stuff, and Jaclyn just would never answer it. She just is like out of sight, out of mind, right? And when you go to her Instagram, it's interesting because she says CEO, you know, of these 3 major brands. But she's the only CEO of any company that I've ever known, ever, that has had major, major, major scandals happen with their brands, that has, as a CEO, who is the final decision-making person, right, has decided to just not address anything. I mean, let's just think about this in the real world, right? In the real world, Jaclyn Hill doesn't live in the real world. I'm convinced of it, okay? Jaclyn lives in a very guarded world, a very sheltered world, where nobody really lets her see reality around her. She has surrounded herself with yes people that only tell her that she is the most glowing, fantastic person in the entire world. And the problem with that is, right, is that when you live in that kind of world, you don't really grow as a human being, because you just have people that are constantly saying, oh yes, Jaclyn, you're fantastic. Oh yes, Jaclyn, I love all these products. Oh yes, Jaclyn, you can do no wrong, right? And so there's no room for growth there. And it's kind of, we've seen this a lot with a lot of the beauty influencers on YouTube. And to some degree, it's kind of their downfall, right? Is when they surround themselves with these yes people that won't really be honest with them. And that extends way past beauty gurus, right? I mean, that goes into the real world as well. That when people have a lot of yes men around them, there's no room for growth there. I mean, we all need people that will challenge us. I've said this for years on my channel. You know, my best friend, she tells me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And a lot of times, she, my husband, my sponsor, my therapist, tell me things that I don't necessarily want to hear, or that are challenging to me, or that are difficult for me to hear, or things that I need to work on, because they want what's best for me, right? And sometimes I have room for growth. You know, like my sponsor always says to me when, like, I'll take something to her and I may be complaining about something, and she'll say, you know what, this is an opportunity for growth. You know, are you going to take it or are you not? Well, when you have yes people around you just constantly telling you that everything that you do is fantastic, and you're hiring your friends, like Jaclyn does, she hires her friends for her assistant positions and things like that, and, you know, whatever, then you're not really challenged to be a better version of yourself. So I think what happened was, over time, she stopped complaining on Twitter because she just couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the truth, is really what happened, right? So she took it over to Instagram. And then she came out not too long ago, if you remember, and she said, well, you know, people are so upset about this Chanel purse kind of thing that I'm just going to have to start deleting comments and start blocking people, is what she started doing over there. Well, she apparently at that point, too, started buying followers on Instagram. You guys, it's ridiculous. I did a video about this, and I talked about this on there. And I went in and I looked because I was like, I want to see if she's still doing this. And she is still, like, if you go in there and you look at the people that are following her on Instagram, you guys, it is ridiculous. I mean, like, the top 10 newest ones, like, every single time you refresh it, it's like accounts that have, like, nobody following them, no posts. They've literally just started their account. I mean, it is so fakery. It's so obvious that somebody is purchasing these followers for her, right? And so if it's not Jaclyn who's purchasing these followers for herself, then it's somebody on her team that is doing that for her to make it so that she is at 8 million followers, you know? Because I saw this whole thing. There's like a whole Reddit thread on Jaclyn that, like, it's just like, I mean, they keep up with like every little thing that she does over there. And one of the things that they talked about was that her Cozy brand, her Be Cozy brand, actually, like, had topped out at, like, here, I should look in here and see. Hold on a second. Jaclyn's Be Cozy brand. Oh, darn it. Now I'm not going to be able to pull this up. Okay, let's pull up Jaclyn Hill first of all. Okay, Jaclyn Hill. Here it is, Be Cozy. It had topped out at 74,000 followers on Instagram. It's now sitting at 73.3 thousand followers. So it's lost followers, right? And a lot of people are saying that the reason for that is because people are so unhappy with how she didn't address anything to do with Kalyn Nicholson, who she allegedly borrowed their name, okay, and used the name, but she never even came out and addressed it and said, I didn't know. Like, that's where Jaclyn doesn't really realize that to even get in a video or to get in an Instagram story and say, like, you guys, I really didn't know, I should have looked into it more, or whatever, you know. And I know people are like, well, it was fair to use her name and whatever. Yeah, and it was like what Marlene Estelle said in her statement. Sure, it was legal. Sure, she was able to do it. Was it morally correct? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the right thing to do. And it's Jaclyn Hill who wants to talk about being a woman's woman and building up other women and wanting to be a family person and wanting to be a friend to all people and wanting to be relatable, to then go in and steal somebody else's, allegedly stealing somebody else's name for her business brand. It's a little morally corrupt, I believe, okay? So she doesn't address that. She doesn't address any of these issues, right? But she takes them to Instagram now, or she goes to Instagram now and she does her things, because there she can go monitor and she can delete the comments that she doesn't like and whatever. Well, I went in because I was getting all of these DMs from people saying, are you going to address Jaclyn's negativity? And I was like, what negativity are you talking about? The only thing I had seen was this statement, hold on, that she had put up on her Instagram. And it said, here, I'll put it up here somewhere for you. I swear, some of you guys wake up and chose to be bothered. I appreciate those of you who look at life as a blessing and choose kindness. I know it's not always the easiest choice, but it's the right one. So Jaclyn Hill, who I think it would be fair to say hasn't necessarily been the kindest person, okay, even though I think it's interesting, you know, in this world of YouTube that we live in, where when you love somebody so much, you're so blinded by certain things that they do or say, and that Jaclyn, who is just like, you know, she'll sit in the middle and she'll be like, hi guys, like I'm going to work out today, and I'm so excited in my Lululemon, and people are like, oh my God, she's so nice, right? She literally took somebody's dreams and stomped on them and crushed them to the ground. Kalyn Nicholson changed her entire brand, closed her brand down, asked Jaclyn to address it. Jaclyn never addressed it, okay? I mean, there's multiple scandals that Jaclyn still has not addressed to this day. And what does Jaclyn do with it? Several years later comes out and makes a joke about it, all right? For example, like the fuzzies on her Chanel purse being what was in her lipsticks. Well, there were a lot of people that invested hard-earned money in those lipsticks that were very upset at the time that they came, right? So was it funny? It wasn't funny for Jaclyn that was sitting in that video, and I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to watch that video when she returns and addresses all of it. Because, you know, Jaclyn wants to make jokes about it now, but at that time, she wanted people to take her very, very seriously, and she really wanted to come out and talk about, I'm like a phoenix from the ashes, rising from all of this, and what, okay, girl, whatever. You know, everything that you said now is like a moot point, because you really didn't mean it, because you're coming out with all these jokes about it now, right? Okay, so that was the first thing. So I reached out to Alicia from Dirts and Diamonds, and I also reached out to, hold on just a second. I reached out to Alicia from Dirts and Diamonds, and then I also reached out to Angie, who is my, she's like my Jaclyn Hill intel. Like, she gives me all the info. And I was like, hey, like, all these people are reaching out to me, and they're asking me about this complaints and negativity of Jaclyn Hill over the last couple days. Have you guys seen anything about this? And both of them were like, they sent me the same screenshots, but they were like, we really haven't seen a whole lot of it. And one of it was that somebody had sent her a DM. I mean, Jaclyn Hill is so ate up. She is in her DMs, reading DMs from haters, screenshotting them, and posting them on her Instagram. She can't make it into work to save her life, to address all of her scandals. You know, like, she can't, for the life of her. I haven't seen an Instagram story of Jaclyn Hill in her offices doing CEO. I don't know what she does, if she just plays, like, business at her house, and she goes, okay, she's got, like, a legal pad and, like, a pen, and she's like, today we're going to play CEO. Okay. And then she has, like, you know, I don't know, Lipstick Nick when she's not working out and doing her makeup. And I like Lipstick Nick, so I don't have any issues with her. But she'll, like, put Lipstick Nick in the other room and she'll say, just send all my calls in here, Lipstick Nick. You know, I mean, I don't know. Does Jaclyn Hill just play CEO? Like, what is she? I'm confused. You know what I mean? And she just like, CEO Jaclyn Hill. Uh-huh. Yeah, mystery boxes? Okay. You know, I mean, like, what does she do? Like, she never goes into her office. She never does anything. She's always on her couch, watching a movie, lighting candles in the kitchen with Jordan. Like, that's all they do. They just, like, cook, hang out, go shopping. Like, she doesn't do a lot of things. And in fact, on this, like, what I'm going to talk about here in a second, this reel, she shows about how she has to get ready at her vanity, and that they're showing her, like, samples for things that are coming out next year, right? Okay. So, like, her business comes to her house. She never has to go into this office. Do you remember that office that she showed? Which I remember seeing the office when she went in and she showed the office, and I can remember that video clip of it, and I was like, girl, that desk is dusty, okay? You need to hire somebody to come in and clean that office, because you're never there, and neither is anybody else. So anyway, So somebody posted this thing, and it was of Tipsy, okay, her dog, who's, I think, so sweet and cute. But somebody put this Instagram, or DM'd her and said, so ugly about the dog. And she said, oh my God, imagine if Tipsy saw this DM. I mean, I think that's it's kind of funny that she responded to it. But I don't know. Like, I've never gotten one of those about our dog. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, my friend Valerie, she says, you know, well, I'll say something about, like, Boo Radley, and she'll say something about his tongue hanging out of his mouth, and she'll say, well, I mean, it's a face only a mother can love, and I'm like, Valerie! So, I mean, you know, listen, people are going to say what they're going to say. I love senior dogs, and, like, all senior dogs have their tongues out, and, you know, they got, like, you know, one eye and all that, but they're so sweet. I love them so much, you know what I mean? Jacqueline, though, apparently people are bullying her dogs now, too, but I thought that was interesting that she put that up. But then the next thing that she says is, going to post something a little different than normal today. Something I've never done before. Please let me know if you like it, okay? Well, what she did, and this must be what people are talking about that she's complaining about, okay? I don't know, okay? This must be the bothered part. So what she posted, hold on a second. Let me get in here. I don't know why I can't pull it up. What she posted was this reel, okay? And this reel is my first ever day in the life. Such a fun and exciting day. And her day in her life is that she doesn't say in there, and I want to make this very, very clear, she didn't say it's a normal day in my life, it's a typical day in my life. She just said a day in my life, like my very first ever. You know, and I can understand from a YouTuber's point of view, you know, there's a lot of YouTubers that'll, like, you know, I don't know, fly somewhere, you know, in like the most amazing first class bungalow and they film that or whatever, right? Or they'll go on some trip, or, you know, they'll film the whole thing and whatever. So I don't necessarily fault Jacqueline for the fact that she filmed this amazing day and that was the amazing day that she posted. I think what would have helped her is if she would have put in the description box, this was such an amazing day. I had such an exciting day. I want to share it with you because this day is not like how I live every other day. Because I think the misinterpretation was it's a day in my life. Like, oh, it's just some throwaway day like any other day, right? And what the day is she gets up and she's like, you know, getting ready for her day, picking out what outfit she's going to go work out in. And then she rented out an entire cycle bar so that she could take her friends and family and coworkers to, or teammates or whatever she calls, or people that work for her, to the cycle bar to go do the cycle classes because she's been doing those and she loves them, right? Then she comes home and she gets all glammed up and she's doing a little bit of work, and then she and Jordan have gotten invited to the Bucks game, and so they go to it and she gets to like walk right down, like she gets invited by the NFL, right? I don't know how that happened. She must know some people in high places, but you know. So anyway, so she walks like right down, you know, like on the field and everything. And then she talks about how the cheerleaders asked to take a picture with her. And a lot of people made some comments about this. And I'm just being fair. You guys, I'm just being fair, okay? A lot of people made comments about the fact that the cheerleaders asked her to take a picture. And they're like, oh yeah, it went the other way around. Jacqueline asked them. I don't know that I believe that, okay? In my experience, when I have talked, you know, like my husband has a lot of girlfriends that are a lot younger, you know, like let's say middle to late 20s, right? And when I talk to them about like, oh, do you watch beauty influencers on YouTube and whatever, they'll say like, oh, I used to. And I'll say like, well, who did you watch? They always say Jaclyn Hill, okay? And they'll say she was so relatable. I loved her get readies with me. And, you know, like she really taught me a lot of makeup tutorials and stuff like that. They don't know the Jeffree Stars. They might know Jeffree Star from like a palette or something like that. They don't really know James Charles, all that kind of stuff. They know Jaclyn Hill, right? So the fact that the Bucks cheerleaders asked Jacqueline to take a picture, that doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't, you know? And she even said in there, she addressed a comment, because she's all up in the comments, okay, of this reel. She said that she, and you know, the reason why YouTubers are doing the reels on Instagram now is because they make money that way. That's where the money is on Instagram, is in the reels. So that's why, like with Manny never posts a picture anymore. Every single post of Manny's is a reel. because that's how they make money on Instagram. Every single post these influencers are doing on Instagram is a reel, because they don't, like, there's no reason for them to post pictures. But then they complain that they missed how Instagram used to be with the pictures, when they're the ones that are driving the reel thing, because Instagram wants people to post reels, and so they're paying people per, reel view. And so they're the ones that are doing the reels. Why? Because they're money hungry, okay? Just go back to posting pictures. At least post a picture every once in a while, So anyway, so she does that, and then they, like, go shopping at the store, at the what do you call it, the football stadium place, and she gets a pom-pom, and people were, like, in the comment section, I was really surprised. People are really coming for Jacqueline, and they're like, where did she get that pom-pom? Did she take that from the cheerleaders? She says in the video, she's like, and of course I had to buy a pom-pom because I'm forever the cheerleader. She says that in the reel. So I'm, like, kind of like, a little bit, I'm kind of like, God, people are, like, really, like, it's interesting because, and I've said this, okay, well, let me just finish this real quick. So she does that, and then I think they go out to dinner somewhere, and then they go somewhere else, and they have, like, one last drink, and that's, like, the end of their day, okay? When I tell you the mass criticism that this day in my life reel received on her, like, in her comment sections, she talked about how she was going to delete and block people. I'm really surprised she's not deleting and blocking more comments, or maybe I just got to them before she did that. But, I had said about 2 weeks ago in a video that I did with Jaclyn Hill, and I said, and I'm kind of like right now, like, there's, I think, I look at, like, drama commentary channels, and I kind of look at how there's, like, a lot of people that are, like, different, like T-Spill does, like, her own thing, and she's, like, on a completely different level, and Sloan does these very, like, long, commentary, deep dive investigations, and I feel like, kind of like, Adam McIntyre and myself and Rich Lux, we kind of are still the ones that, like, sit down and kind of just, like, shoot the SHI toot and talk, and there's a few others that are like us as well, I feel like it's tea time, or like us as well. But I feel like there's just a few of us out there that are kind of doing what I call old school kind of like drama. And that's what I like. But, like, I don't feel like a whole lot of people are talking about Jaclyn Hill right now. But what I said 2 weeks ago was Jacqueline needs to be very, very careful. There isn't really a lot of drama going on. When I'm talking about, like, and I'm just bringing in these, these, like, Sloan and people like that, or Nick DeRamio, who I absolutely adore, Luke Alexander, who's back and doing videos. They're doing content on a completely different level now. Luke is doing a lot of videos that have, like, nothing to do with, like, this kind of drama like he used to do. Nick DeRamio, he'll do a Shane Dawson video or whatever because it's what's relevant, but then he'll go to, like, some Christmas movie from 1994 that was on Disney, you know what I mean? Because he can. And people love it, right? And I love that about him so much. And, Sloan does these deep dive investigations, so they're not doing this kind of stuff, right? But if Jacqueline messes up enough, people are going to talk about her. And one of the things that I said was that Jacqueline needs to be very, very careful because there's not a lot of people right now that are in drama. We're not seeing it. Trisha's kind of staying out of things. Jeffrey's kind of, they're in drama enough for me to talk about it in a video. But Shane's kind of staying out of things. There's just not a lot going on. Manny and Laura staying out of things. James Charles, what happened to her? It's like, so if Jaclyn Hill's the one that's messing up, Jaclyn Hill is going to be the one that's going to be talked about. And when I went over to this Reddit thread about Jaclyn Hill and I started reading every single thing that was being said on there, all of which almost are true, and I have to tell you, the way that they're posted is, I don't think they're bullying, and I don't think they're nasty, the majority of them. I read a couple that I was kind of like, oh, that's a little cringe, but most of them, I think, are really fair observations of her, and the things that they're saying are issues that she's not addressing with her businesses, the fact that she wants to come out as relatable, but she lives this Kardashian lifestyle, and she's not in touch with her audience base whatsoever, and then she gets mad when people question her about that. Well, that's the issue that happened in this. So let me read you some of these comments, hold on, that Jacqueline got on this this day in my life reel. So somebody said, usually it's something along the lines of, I have my picture taken with the cheerleaders instead of the cheerleaders asked me to take a picture with them. I'm not sure why this sounded off to me. And Jacqueline responded to it and said, I don't know what to tell you, girl. I mean, it's just rude the way that she responds. I used to do a bunch of the Bucks cheerleaders makeup, so when they all asked for a photo and told me they were wearing my palette, it was very surreal and exciting for me. So I'm not sure when she did the Bucks cheerleaders, because she's been on YouTube popular for over 10 years now. So, I mean, that would have had to have been 10 years ago that she was doing that. Which, do I believe that that's possible? Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's possible that she did that, and I think that that's exciting for her, that people know who she is. And, you know, and I think that in a city like Tampa, people probably do know who Jaclyn Hill is, and that she probably is the most famous YouTuber that lives there, you know? And people are excited when they see her out and about and things like that. So, and a bunch of other people say things. Okay, so somebody said, but this is how you phrase the white elephant TikTok too. It's why I left the comment. I think about how you word things. And so Jaclyn did this whole like white elephant thing where she was like, I don't know what to do for the white elephant. What should I do? And people were like, you literally, like, you can't even come up with an idea for a white elephant. And so it was kind of like, it's a lot of like people are saying it's how Jaclyn Hill words things. And somebody says it's seriously not that serious. Somebody responds and says, I think what happens with Jaclyn's content is that she wants to come off as relatable, but she keeps missing the mark. And I completely 100% agree with that. Somebody said definitely, oh wait. Somebody said, hold on, going to the next one. Somebody said, cute day, but not a day in the life. This is just a cool day. I think that clarification would be nice otherwise. I agree with the comments that say this is too much. The day itself is not too much. The marketing you chose around it is. And somebody responded and said, it's still a day in the life. I think a lot of people associate day in the life with routine videos when it's not the same thing. Is this a typical day in the life? Probably not. I'm sure this isn't what her everyday looks like, but it's still a day in the life. I don't think she said this was a typical day-to-day routine type video. And she didn't. She didn't say that. To me, this is no different than when other YouTubers or influencers do day in the life things, when they're at Disney or doing things for Vlogmas or stuff like that. I would like to see more typical day in the life, though. I think that would be more cool. And so that's what somebody says. Somebody said, this was fun, but I'd love to see a casual day. Work out, what you eat, cook, errands, work stuff, office. Okay, so that's Jaclyn's Instagram stories. That's literally what she posts on her Instagram stories. Working out, laying around, cooking, shopping. And that's what I have said for a very long time. Jaclyn should film that. Have that assistant of hers that she hired. Have him film that. Throw it up in a vlog and post a video. People would eat it up and they would love it. Her fans that are forever defensive of her would love that, because she could literally put a day in the life up a day in the life number 1, a day in the life number 2, a day in the life number 3. And it could just be her assistant filming her while she goes out and does stuff and gets yogurts or gets juices, because that's one of the things she does in this video. Gets salads, you know, and go shopping at Lululemon. Her fans would love that. And I've said this forever. She should start a vlog channel. She should just do that. Or turn her channel into that, you know. Somebody said, to me, this felt a little out of touch with reality. More like, and this is like, I mean, I'm reading a lot of these comments in a row, you guys. A lot of them are like this. More like a show of wealth. Would love to see a normal day in the life. I haven't been as connected with the content lately as I was mostly here for the makeup and fashion, but I know others enjoy it. So, at the end of the day, it is your page, so post what you want, just my 2 cents, but don't come at me, she asked. And she did. She asked what you guys thought. Somebody said, I'm following you after all these years, feels like a breakup, but after Cozy, I just cannot support you anymore. It is what it is. And they're talking about like her not responding to the Kalyn Nicholson allegations. Somebody said, thank you for standing up for what is right. And it goes on to say all this kind of stuff. Somebody said, I don't understand any of the hate. She literally doesn't say it was a regular day or anything like that. She said in the beginning it was a special day. No one is saying Jaclyn has to dim how lavish her life is, but she can expect her followers to love to see that constantly while they're trying to figure out how to make ends meet or struggling. I don't know, maybe from time to time, but for the longest, Jaclyn is not someone I feel relatable to or someone I feel actually would understand me in my life, so I just don't interact with her page often. Choices, people. Choose what you feel your heart desires. Someone else says, the comments are throwing me, LOL, this is legit a day in your life. Not every day, but a day. And then it goes on, you should have titled this a video where I brag about everything that I've achieved by stealing and scamming people. I don't know about all that, but what I do know is I think that Jaclyn Hill is out of touch with what reality looks like, and it's starting to affect her brand, and it's starting to affect her business because she wants to be like a Kardashian, you know? And that's not what she built her brand on. She built her brand on being this girl that rose to fame through YouTube, and I think that she needs to remember that because it's biting her in the butt. So anyway, let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.